Yo, so we're going to be speaking with Agn3w in just a bit. If you guys are online, check out the Facebook page. It's HopeJamz Radio. It's Jams with a Z, and also on Twitter, it's 70x7 Music. So always check out on these pages, always putting up the new music every week, who's coming on the show, also posting up regular kind of intel of what's going on in the scene, you know, like what's going on in the culture around the world. So anyway, so we couldn't get Agn3w last week, unfortunately, because he had a little mishap, but we do have him live with us right now. So how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. How are you doing today?
Yeah, man, I'm doing good, man. It's a pleasure to chat with you, man. Finally get you back on. So obviously last week you had a little thing like, are we okay to say it was your daughter, like it was sick or something? Or was it your child?
Yeah, of course. You got the whole, the good old daycare bug. So, woke up, of course, had about 103 something fever, so I had to make sure I got her in and make sure she was okay. And of course, just become decombobulated and completely forgot my phone. By the time I got back, I was like, oh my gosh. So, yeah, just kid got real sick, but luckily she's okay. So, I'm really glad that you allowed me to come back on, and just looking forward to talking about the music.
Definitely, man. It's definitely a pleasure to talk with you. I'm glad that we did get you back on, and obviously it's the main thing that your child's safe and well, man. That's definitely a good thing, because obviously last week I didn't know that, so it's great that. Good to hear that.
Yeah,
all things are
much
good.
Appreciated.
Anyway, man. So getting into you, man. Obviously, we want to find out who you are and how you got into the scene. So if you want to give us your own kind of intro, man. Like if there's a bit of testimony in there as well, that's cool. Just kind of give us the intel, man.
For sure. So, I mean, how I got into music, it really kind of just randomly happened, to be honest. I was writing poetry at a very young age. I don't want to say like the poetry that people publish and stuff like that. It was more just like writing down feelings. I felt like, at a young age, I always bottled up a lot of emotions, didn't really talk about them. So, that was kind of a coping mechanism for me. And, as time went on, I just honestly, I think what got me into rap really was, I'm trying to think, I was a freshman in college. I was kind of one of those, I lived a different lifestyle back then, partied, drank, did a bunch of other different stuff. I was really stuck in just a sinful world. I think a lot of that stems from bottling up those emotions and not really dealing with them. So it just kind of ate me alive. And what happened was, I remember I was with one of my buddies, Trevor, at the time, and it just kind of randomly came about. He was like, hey, I'm going over to this kid Josh's house, and he raps, and I'm going to go over there and record and all this stuff. And I was like, okay, cool. And he asked me to come along, and I was just like, yeah, man, I'll come over and just, chill. And I knew, like, I wrote, but I didn't write rap. I was just like, oh, rap? I was like, that's not for me. And so I got over there in his house, and I honestly just saw what he did, and just being in his little closet studio when we were 18, 19 years old. And I don't know what it was. It just kind of like I became interested in it. So, I mean, we fast forward a couple years, had a lot of just not so great moments in college, but I ended up putting out some mixtape back in the day under a different name. And I don't even like to speak about it because it just wasn't the music that I liked writing. But I put out a mixtape. It got a little buzz down in southeast Missouri. And I don't know, man. I honestly, it was really weird. I felt like a big conviction in my life. So this kind of rolls into the testimony. That was the only project I put out, honestly, at that point. And it wasn't anything serious whatsoever. It was just kind of a bunch of remixes and stuff like that. And, I quit writing completely, and we fast forward about 3 years after that. I got real close to God. Kind of wanted to rededicate my life, and it just kind of popped up in my head. Like, I knew that writing helped me out. I knew it helped me deal with my problems, and so I started writing again. And I remember sharing a song that I wrote with one of my buddies. I think it was my buddy Adam. I don't really remember because I share my music with a lot of people, just asking. But I remember I showed him a song, never posted it or anything. It was just, something I wrote to a beat. And he was like, man, you need to start recording again. He's like, this stuff is, a lot more authentic and real. So I started recording in my house, started teaching myself vocal production and all that stuff. I don't make beats, so I kind of collab with some people or lease out beats for now. And I mean, yeah, it just kind of led to one thing after another, and this is where I think the testimony gets cool. So, I got me and my daughter, me and her mom, recently, honestly, just started getting back together. So God's just been piecing a lot of things in our lives, a lot of promises just coming true. And where this ties into music, it was kind of crazy, was during that time we were split, I wasn't really doing very well. That's when my writing really started picking up. But I wasn't writing about bad stuff. Like, I was really trying to just connect with God. And so I actually got invited because some guy heard some random song that I posted, and I don't even remember what one it was at this point, because I have like probably I think close to 30 songs on SoundCloud now. And I'm about to release, this EP, which will be my first project since a Christian artist. And they invited me to this festival out in Ferguson, Missouri. Well, of course, the festival was on the same day that I was supposed to go down to Nashville, Tennessee for a Kid Rock concert. And so I just kind of got like slumped in my tracks. Like I sat there for a minute and I was like, I was bummed, because I was just like, I guess I can't do that festival. I was like, because I already bought the tickets for Kid Rock and my whole family was going. And I was like, as soon as I said that out loud, I had like a very spiritual moment where I really believe God gave me a vision. And I don't just say that to say that. Like, it was like I couldn't make my own choice. Like, it's like he told me no. He's like, I need you to go to that festival. So I went. And I was the first performer up. I actually messed up quite a few times. But what was cool was I got off the stage, and just the welcoming from the other artists and the things that they encouraged me to do, and just, I guess, the critiqueness I got, I wasn't expecting that. Like, it was all positive and just like, whoa, man, how long have you been writing and this and that? And I said, honestly, I was like, I just got back into writing like a couple months ago, and they're like, wait, whoa, you just been writing for a couple months? I was like, well, not really. I was like, but, as far as writing about God and stuff, I was like, yeah. And people were just, from that moment on, were just kind of drawn in, and just, we're like, okay, like, we're going to see what this kid can do. And, you're now almost a year later, I really wrote probably in the last year, probably 60 or 70 songs. Not all of them are really great, but, I picked the ones that I felt like stood out to me and that I wanted to make a small project with, which is going to be free. I don't want to charge for it at all. It's just something God's called me to do. And, just the testimony wrapped up in its whole is God's done nothing but just speak to me through music. Just like the other day, I sent a song to this guy who owns just an independent label. And I'll, give a shout out. Integrity is his name. He's a great artist as well. Fantastic artist, actually. We've talked about possibly doing like an album together, so it's just God just has revealed himself through the music so much that I at this time in my life, even just being on this interview now, I was like, okay, this is what you've called me to do, whether that be for, a living or not. It's like, this is it. Like, this is all that pain, all that bottling up emotions. This is what we're going to do with it. Like, this is, I want to connect with, whether it be kids, men, whoever, that have been through the same things that I've been through, and just do what God's called me to do. And that's just, preach his word. So it's kind of just what has led me to this moment now.